What's up, everybody? How you doing today? Angel CRG. Welcome back to Creators Lobby. And of course, today is going to be very different because I'm going to tell you something. Number one, I'm late and pressing my own name on this fucking thing. Number two, you guys like OG games, right? You like some Super Mario World. You like some Sonic the Hedgehog, some Castlevania. We're going to go right ahead. We're going to go backwards in time. And we're going to hang out with a homie of mine who's really, really good at some old school games. And believe it or not, his name also is reminiscent of the Super Mario World itself. Please help me welcome SuperChrisWorld. How you doing?
Damn, Angel, what a hell of an intro. Thank you, bro. I'm doing good.
Man, I hope so.
How about you, man?
I am better. Yeah, I'm better. I'm feeling it, a whole different. Nice. So I've been knowing you for what, like 2-3 years now? Give or take?
God, maybe. It could be more than that. We've both been doing this for so damn long. It's possible. Anything's possible.
It's been a long time. I remember I think it was Rebel who introduced me to you along with some other folks that every now and then I'll watch their stream, but I think I've tuned into yours more because your content is, it's like I said, it's very old school and I'm all about the retro games.
Thank you.
So
thank you, man.
We're going to go right ahead. I'm going to ask you some questions. We'll get right into it. So, Chris, let the people know, where are you from originally?
New York, motherfucking New York.
Oh my God, there you go. That is the one state I still need to visit, man.
Yeah, I got to visit the East Coast, bro.
Man, eventually. I know, actually, I don't know if you heard of him. He used to go by Raz Kid, but he goes by Aqua Quest Fantasy now. He actually lives East Coast.
Where at? Also New York or in Jersey?
PA.
Oh, all right, that's not too far. Nice.
Yeah.
Philly.
Man, that's on my list right now. I don't know if I'll go any further than Philly and New York. Like I don't think there's anything in Maine.
Yeah, that's the two spots. I mean, yeah, that's probably it if you're visiting the East Coast, New York and Pennsylvania, ideally Philly. Yeah.
Man, hell yeah. So
any other parts of getting to Hicksville. So.
Oh hell no. You're like, yeah, we don't touch that shit. Yeah, I might go down there just to do the King of the Hill theme song. Man. So how long have you been living in New York?
Born and raised, baby.
Born and raised. Oh shit. We got a natural born.
Yeah. It's in my blood.
Man. I asked because I think there was maybe one or two people that I've interviewed where they were not, like, the places they live currently, they're not originally from there. They actually migrated from, whatever their hometown was up to the current state that they're in. So it's like, it's always nice to hear about like people that are still currently in their home state, or, if they did migrate, what was the difference between where they lived at past, like in the past, and where they live at currently. And like where you're at right now, how would you describe it?
It's the suburbs of the city. That's what I can say. But it's still the city, but it's the suburbs of the city. I'll just say this. This is where Eddie Murphy found his princess. His bride.
What? For real? God damn. Fucking Eddie. Eddie's always on something. Dude, that's one dude I need to meet. Did you see his SNL skit that he did? It was with Kenan Thompson, and it was somebody else. They were like Will Ferrell. You did see it then?
Yeah. It was okay. Yeah, the SNL turns 50 this year, so. Yeah.
Oh, 50 years old. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. We're growing. That thing. We're like right behind it.
Yeah, we're not too far. There's a lot of things that turned 50 this year. Dolomite's another one.
Oof, man.
That's a classic.
Dolomite is my name, and fucking up motherfuckers is my game.
Which, ironically, funnily enough, Eddie Murphy played him in the biopic that they did a few years ago.
What? Oh,
yeah,
hell.
Dolomite is my name.
All right, you're gonna have to send me that later so I can check that shit out.
Hell yeah, it's a good movie, man.
All right, so let's get right into your content now.
Sure.
How long have you been doing content creating, streaming or video?
5 years.
5 years, okay.
Yeah.
All right, damn, that's a pretty good time. You're almost you're halfway to a decade. Now,
yeah, it's scary.
Now, when you're in the middle of your journey, like what? Oh, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. So, when you first started your journey, right?
Hmm.
What was your first experience with content? So we're talking about what you were feeling at the time. What was the first video that you posted or the first stream that you can remember that you had done, and what platform did you start on?
Well, even earlier than 5 years ago, I guess I tried to make one or two review videos. Like I want to say 8 years ago, and
Oh,
they were
okay.
terrible, terrible. No, that's a bit harsh. They were okay at best. They weren't great, and they didn't do great. And I was just like, this is too much work for how little I'm getting
Yeah.
in return. Because that's another tough thing is like exposure. But yeah, I didn't want to do it anymore. So I stopped for a few years, and I started watching Twitch in like 2017, 2018. It
Okay.
took a few years, but after watching a few channels, Cheese and Gabe's channel, Get Good Gabriel, and a few others, I was like, maybe I can do this. One of the deciding factors was someone I was watching. I won't say the name. I won't say whose name, but they were so bad at it. I thought I could at least be this bad.
Yeah.
I can at least be this bad. So I was like, maybe I could do this, and I gave it a try. I had help. Had help from someone in figuring out what tools I need. I saw that I had basically everything I needed because it's what I used to make my YouTube videos previously.
Yeah.
I just used that and gave it a try, and boom, rest is history.
That is crazy. And then that's actually the first new piece of history I learned about you, because I didn't know you did review. I like as I always went to your chat and we always talked about every possible older game. I think the first game I watched you play, um, I could be wrong. It was either Castlevania or it was like some Sonic game. It was like the first time I had met you. Never once did I hear you did review videos. So give us um a little snippet of like what you would review in those videos.
I do like console reviews. Was it new releases of things that I'd buy that are related to gaming? They weren't interesting or anything. Uh, it took me a year, I think, to make my first like 20-minute video. I was so bad at it because I had to film things
Yeah.
on my camera and then record. The recording is miserable to record. To do multiple takes, and you have to listen to yourself. You have to do it over and over and over again. And the recording is miserable. Editing is even worse. But
Oh man. Man, that honestly, I'm glad with
um,
these episodes I can literally just post it unless I have to cut out kids yelling in the background, and that's a whole different fucking issue.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it's brutal. It can be pretty brutal.
Now, I'm curious with editing, how long would it take you when you first were doing it? How long did it take you to complete a full edit on a video?
The first time, let me see. My first video, maybe not a full year, but at least from early summer to like the end of fall that year. So editing alone, maybe 2 months, 3 months.
Okay.
I just because I would edit and then I would realize something's wrong and I'd have to go back and re-record it and then edit and then realize something's wrong and then go back and re-record it. So it was a process. Yeah,
Oh
it
my
took some time.
God. At that point, you might as well say you were just making a movie.
Yeah.
That is
uh,
crazy.
my own indie film.
Man, the Super Chris World, the movie.
Damn, that would be the biggest box office bomb of all time.
Man, can you imagine showing your struggle at the beginning and then right to where you're at now? That'd be nuts.
It'd make less money than the actual Super Mario Brothers movie from the
Oh
90s.
no, man. What was it? Bob Hoskins, right?
Bob
Wasn't it?
Hoskins and John Leguizamo, and they're both great in the movie. It's just a mess.
Oh my God, that movie. Even till this day, my youngest one, Mondo, he'll laugh at the Goombas because they just look really goofy, and their face is just. I don't know what it is about their face. Usually, Goombas they are very pissed off in the games, but in the movie they
Yeah,
were just extremely
they're just
happy.
derpy
Yeah.
faces. Yeah, those derpy faces.
My
Yeah.
God, that movie was something else, man. All right, so here's another thing. Let's see if I can rearrange my questions here. So before we get into the next big question, so when you first started doing this channel, Super Chris World, you had obviously your name was inspired by Super Mario World. Correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. I'm not very creative.
Hey, don't feel bad. I'm on the same boat with you. Okay, so check this out. So your name comes from Super Mario World. That was, that was an inspiration right there. Out of the first time you had actually done streaming,
Mhm.
what game inspired you to start streaming? Like what game where you're like, okay, this might be the perfect game to, take into a stream world and see how it goes. It may actually work out, to the best of your ability.
Well, when I first started streaming, I already had the username, so I was just like, I have the name. I probably should stream something Mario. That probably makes sense. But
Yeah,
that's the thing. Super Mario World's like my favorite game. That and Sonic 2 probably. So I was
man.
just like, yeah, this should probably be the first thing I stream is Super
Yeah.
Mario World. It just seems fitting.
Hey, it works. Ironically,
Yeah.
me and you have the same taste in like favorite games, believe it or not.
Mm,
Because like I played Super Mario Bros, the original, but Super Mario World became my favorite. And then I
yeah.
played the first Sonic game and I hated it because of the end boss. But Sonic 2 being like the end boss was even more frustrating. That became my favorite game too. It just didn't make any sense. And it's like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, I see. That's the thing is that if you didn't play these games in order, they don't mean as much.
yeah,
If you played how poorly the NES Super Mario games control, how slippery, how fast you move, and how heavy Mario is, and then you get to World where it just controls like a dream. It's just that's Sonic as well. You do play Sonic 1, you don't have the spin dash, you don't have the special. Well, you have the special stages, but they suck. I don't know. They suck in all the games. What am I talking about? But
yeah.
you don't have the faster level design, the better levels, better music. Then you get to 2, and it's just like, oh my god, spin dash, tails, death egg,
Yep. And
better level design. Like everything from there is just
and that
it
was
takes some time.
and that was a crazy thing too. Like between Mario and Sonic games, Mario, even if the controls and the gameplay was clunky and it progressed, you still got better. Like you still had the original power ups, but you still were getting consistent power ups with different abilities. Where
Yeah.
Sonic, it was like you were only able to run and spin off the
Hmm.
first game, but when you collected Chaos Emeralds, they didn't do anything but give you the
Yeah.
ability to get a different end screen. Where in the second game and onward, you get the Chaos Emeralds, you become Super Sonic, and you become invincible temporarily, but you can still drown. You
Yeah.
can still get smashed. And you know what I've actually found out because I had looked this up yesterday that if you had Sonic and 3 and Sonic and Knuckles cartridges put together and you became Hypersonic, which is the next evolution up
Yeah.
from Super, Hypersonic and Hyper Knuckles cannot drown.
Really? I didn't
Yeah,
even know that.
I
I've been playing
didn't.
those games for like 20 years. I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. But the funnier thing is they treated the youngest one of that bunch like ass because he can still drown in hyperform. Which
Yeah, because Tails is so OP anyway. I guess. I guess that makes sense. They have to nerf him somewhat. Tails is just like
yeah,
on top of everything, and then can fly. Like Jesus,
he was like a
that's
10
so
year
game
old.
breaking.
He was like a 10-year-old child. They literally murdered a child. It's like, yeah,
Well,
let him
that was
drown.
the idea with Tails is that the older the older siblings would be playing as Sonic, and Tails would be their younger ones. That was the whole point. Sonic 2 will introduce multiplayer, so it can
Yeah.
encourage siblings to play with their little brothers and sisters and what have you.
You know what though? I used to be bogus and like me and my little brother would never get along as much. So there'd be times where I'd leave the controller unplugged to see if he'll notice and become a big problem.
That's funny because Tails is AI automated, so it might take you a minute to realize you're not playing. Uh,
Absolutely. Oh my God, such craziness. Okay, so now that we're like establishing some of the older games, I would want to know what is actually not one. Let's say top five. What are your top five favorite all-time OG games?
Damn, that's hard. I don't want to make a list that's just Mario and Sonic, even though they probably
Yeah.
take up most of it. I don't know. Okay, so I'll say Super Mario World, Sonic 2. From there, man, it gets really tough. This because again, I don't want to just keep saying Mario and Sonic.
Yeah.
I don't know, Castlevania. maybe the first game, if not the first game, then Symphony of the Night. If not Symphony of the Night, then Bloodlines or 4. I mean, Streets of Rage 2, obviously,
Oh
although I
yeah.
haven't played that in a while. God, there's just too many. I could just give a giant list. I'd have to go to my About Me probably to see all the freaking games I've streamed.
I feel it. Honestly,
Yeah,
Streets of Rage 2, I would say was probably one of the better ones. I played
yeah.
3, and 3 just it didn't feel right for
3
whatever reason.
sucks. Yeah, 3
Yeah.
sucks.
Wasn't the first one, wasn't that one super difficult?
The
Just
first one's okay. It's really simple. I mean, it's hard to go from 2 back to 1. 1 is like, okay, we got the blueprint, kinda.
yeah.
2 is just like, this is how it's gonna be for the rest of the franchise. You know.
That's nuts, man. That's a game. And then there was one other it was on Xbox. It was like Streets of Rage something on. It was like they tried to modernize it, and apparently that one sucked even worse than 3.
Yeah, those gens are when they tried to bring them back, but it's not like Streets of Rage 4 or Cowabunga Collection, not Cowabunga Collection, Shredder's Revenge, and these newer like
Yeah,
redos of the older ones. They didn't really get them right until recently.
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I don't think they could ever do that. Not with Streets of Rage, because that was a interesting beat 'em up game, but it wasn't like some of the other ones where they actually stood out for a while.
Yeah, no, two is a classic. It's a shame. I hate when there's only one great game in a franchise. That's then at that point you say, is that even a good franchise? Yeah, which it
Yeah.
is. It still is, but it's just like it's the one game, you know?
Yeah, like, that's it. That's the only one. There ain't no others.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so no, all right. So now we're getting into this. Now, I want to say, I want to know your opinion, because like I see you play some modern games, from this time, from this era, but you don't play them as often. As far as modern games, how do you feel about modern games now versus your typical retro games?
I mean, that's kind of a hard question, but I go back to the old ones because they're just simpler. I'm sure nostalgia has a lot to do with it. That's a given, but
Yeah.
they're just simpler games. I love platformers, and unless you own a Switch,
Yeah.
I didn't get many of those. And even then, mostly 3D platformers. Yeah, that's just my style. I grew up with platformers, run and gun games, things like that, and why do I need to go to the present to find that when they're in abundance in the past?
I feel it. Honestly, I'm gonna put this out. Probably not a good idea to say anything about it, but I still have like ROM versions of a lot of these games you're supposed to have physical copies for, and I go back to them.
Me too.
You
Fuck that. Fuck trying to collect physical. Who has the money for that? Fucking wealthy people waving that in our faces. I have a whole bookshelf of all these thousands of games. Well, good for you that you make good money. Fuck you. You don't even play half these damn games. I hate collectors. I'll buy this shit so I can have an image on my shelf. Fuck you. Give that to someone who actually played. Bastard.
For real. I tried to get my kids into playing retro games, and I can tell you they lost every game that I fucking bought them. It was like, God, how do you lose those big ass brick of fucking cartridges, man? I don't get it. But they
Kids,
never lose it.
Find a way.
Oh, always. But if you give them a Switch with a little cartridge, they can keep that just fine.
Because that means more.
Oh, probably. It means more. Now I can't unsee it, son of a bitch.
I'm not throwing away this friggin' Mario Odyssey. You crazy?
Hell yeah.
This Pokemon, whatever. Zelda, Tears of the Kings of the whatever.
Oh my god, fucking kids, man! Never again. I'm done buying them games. So, all right. So here's a question. I think that I don't know if anybody asked you. I think it might be interesting to ask. What creators? So like when you were doing all your content, was there any creators that inspired you to do content prior to your starts? And like, what was your favorite content from them?
The first channel I ever watched on Twitch was from a old YouTuber. It was still videos are still great. Confused Matthew. He had a Twitch channel.
Yeah.
He's a great YouTube reviewer, big controversial YouTube reviewer. He started doing streams on Twitch, and then he went back to YouTube. But he started doing streams on Twitch. His brother joined him. My good friend Gabe, Get Good Gabriel.
Yeah.
And they were the ones that first got me to start watching. I had no idea what Twitch was until that point. I got into this pretty late. The next one, the third one that I started watching was Cheese. The big
Yeah.
Mario 64 speedrunner. I was like, was trying to find like a good speedrunner to watch one night, and I saw Cheese, and I was like, okay, person of color who's one of the top, if not the top, which he was, and holds the most world records for Mario 120. So I was like, oh shit, one of us could be a world record holder. It's not just white guy, white guy, white guy, white guy, just nonstop. I went through like 50 white guys before I saw him, and not that that has anything to do with it, but yeah, I was shocked by that. Okay, this is a dude who's a person of color. He's Caribbean, he's Trinidadian, and I'm Haitian. And I was like, damn, and he's big on Twitch, and he's a cool dude, and he interacts with this chat, and he's a fucking awesome player. I was like, hell yeah, I'm down for this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so yeah, those were the three biggest ones that kind of kept me on Twitch and watching, and eventually starting up my channel.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So you said that the first guy, he was real big on Super Mario. What was it, 64? Or did I hear
Yes,
that? Okay.
Cheese is he's a world record, maybe the most world records for Mario 64. Yeah.
Okay, so
120 star.
So you liked the Super Mario 64 from Cheese. Now, with the other two guys, Gabe and I forgot the other individual's name. If you can help me out with that
Dan.
one.
We'll say Dan.
Okay, so between them two, what was your favorite content from those two guys?
I mean, I just love them from the YouTube days. I followed Confused Matthew on YouTube, and then he said, okay, he stopped making videos on YouTube, but he said, okay, I'll post on Facebook, my thoughts and reviews every now and then. And I was like, all right, let me read his reviews on Facebook. And then he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to start streaming on Twitch. I was like, what the fuck is Twitch? What does that mean? You nervous or something? What the fuck is Twitch?
Man, the first time I found out about Twitch, it was I was actually looking up Super Mario Maker Kaizo levels, because like Kaizo really blew up at that time, 2015, 2016, whenever that Super Mario Maker came out.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
When I was looking up, it was like old ROM hacks of Kaizo levels, but then I found this one channel. Not gonna go on his name. This individual I have talked about before, so I try to like not give him a spotlight, just because there was a lot of drama with him and some of the people that I became friends with that I'm still friends with now. But I found his channel on YouTube, and I was watching, some of his Kaizo stuff, and then eventually one of his videos like, yeah, I got a Twitch. I'm like, same thing. What the fuck is Twitch? I don't know nothing about Twitch. I mean, I don't have an issue with twitching. So I went and checked him out, and when I found out it was a stream platform, that's when I'm like, okay, now that was the idea of like, okay, now I can get into learning how to stream. Had no idea. So getting the answers of how to do it. Like my original start was on PlayStation 4, where you had the stupid camera that you would plug in, and I had that little setup, and like that was my start. But my start was just goofy because I did Twitch for 2 days and said fuck it, went to YouTube. I'm not doing it again.
That's a good choice, honestly. Yeah. A lot less restrictions on Twitch, on YouTube, and a lot of different pros.
Yeah, I mean back then it was simpler with YouTube.
Yeah,
now it's
simpler too.
Now it's like YouTube has a little heavier restrictions, especially when it comes to kids.
That's true. Nowadays it's
it's I don't know. I kind of really try not to post. I'm pretty sure everybody's on the same boat. They don't try to post 10-15 minute videos like they used to, because now kids are more into 15-second to 30-second clips.
Shorts.
Just I can't get into it. I mean, I post the shorts. Do you post shorts on them?
Yeah, those are the ones that actually do well, because that's what they promote as shorts. Yeah, because that's what people want to watch. They want to watch. They have the attention span of goldfish. They want to watch something that lasts like 20 seconds.
People failed us, man. We're trying our best here. Okay. Well, all right. So here's let me see. Where am I? I asked you about inspiration. Okay. So I think you might have answered this already. No, you haven't. Okay. Let's go into genre of video games. Now, there's multiple genres: horror, adventure, 3D platformer, puzzle, all that kind of stuff, racing. What is your favorite genre that you thoroughly enjoy? And then what's your least favorite genre when it comes to
that's
gaming?
the easiest question you could possibly. Thank you. I've played almost every classic platform you can think of: Mario, Sonic, Castlevania, Contra, Every one of them, and then the really obscure ones like Cool Spot. Who the fuck remembers Cool Spot?
Oh my god.
And things like that. I just love classic platform games. They're cheap as fuck. I love the ones that are less cheap than the others, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just fun. Running, jumping, ideally shooting too, if possible, and different abilities. And I love the art style, art direction, graphics, what they could pull off of the time with the limitations that they had. Yeah, I love platformers, man. Least favorite is RPGs. RPGs are the most boring things I could think of playing. I can't stay. I just literally was forced to do an RPG stream the other day, and I was falling asleep.
No, wait, which RPG?
Final Fantasy 7.
Ah, okay. You know what? I can understand that though. Like you need to have a specific mindset when you're playing an RPG like Final Fantasy. And like, granted, every RPG has the same blueprint, but every RPG plays maybe about a little different from the others, just depending on
Yeah,
story and characters. I think
that's true.
that's where it's like, you know, let's say if you play Pokemon right now, you might be able to stay up a little bit longer just because, characters back then were a little more colorful and you're dealing with little monsters versus human characters fighting monsters.
You know the great thing about Pokemon is that unless you go on grass or in a cave, it's not like every step you take you're gonna get a random. That's the thing I
Yeah.
can't stand the most about RPGs is the random battles, random encounters.
Yeah.
Pokemon was smart enough to like in universe. Okay, they're animals. They're only in grass. So unless you go on that grass, you're not gonna deal with these fucking annoyances.
Yeah.
You know. In Final Fantasy, no matter where you go, every other step is gonna give you a random encounter. They'll take like 40 minutes. It's so tedious and dull. I mean, there are exceptions. I like Fallout, but that doesn't really count. That's more first-person shooter than classic
Yeah.
RPG.
I
And the
can.
Mega Man Battle Network series is pretty good.
Oh man, that game. Don't get me started. I have it on Switch. I remember having it on the Game Boy
Yeah, Game
Advance,
Boy Advance. Yeah.
and oh my god, when I finally beat that game, like when I bought it, I was like 14. When I finally beat it, and it was before I had lost my Game Boy Advance. I had
Mm.
beat it when I was 19.
Damn.
Yeah. That is probably the only game that frustrated me the most. And I think it's just because of like, the enemies, they get harder, but you also have to
Yeah.
be a little more quicker with your movement and the using the chips and all that.
Yeah, I don't know why I like that, but don't like other RPGs. Maybe because you're moving around the track. It's not like completely like an RPG where it's just like a screen and you press the button and character does the attack. You're moving around and you put the chips together and you have to figure out when to use them. There's a little
Yeah.
more to it, I guess.
There's combos and special
Yeah,
movements
counters.
and then
It's yeah.
and then like the other thing too, did you notice in that one I think they had like a machine where if you entered in a code, you would get like a specific secret
Yeah,
chip.
Higsby's
Yeah.
chip trader. Not was it chip? No, not chip trader. The number
Yeah.
man machine. Yeah.
That was a
Yeah,
fun
that was
one.
in a few games. That was cool. Yeah, if you find the secret, or like we did back then, you just fucking Google it.
Oh my god. Yeah, but fucking even Google didn't have this shit. I remember just days searching for chip numbers and they're like, nah, we ain't got it yet. Like, oh come on, man. Damn it. Using nonsense on that. That's a fun game though. I really do thoroughly enjoy it. The only thing that I don't think most people have ever experienced with that, I don't know if you did, was the link cable. In order to
oh
trade
yeah,
chips and
that
to
scam.
battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scam.
Yeah, buy 2 copies of the same game. Yeah, in order, or have a friend who has the opposite copy. Hope that your friend has the opposite copy because that's what it was about. That
Yeah.
should start with Pokemon. How do we make the most money possible? Exclusivity. We'll have some Pokemon in this game, some Pokemon in this game. If you want them
Yeah.
all, you're gonna get both.
Uh-huh. Yep.
That was the
Unfortunately.
most genius scam. There's
Unfortunately,
absolutely no difference except for these 3 Pokemon are in this game.
the
Great
sad
scam.
the sad thing is most of us actually fell into that scam where instead
Yeah,
of
we loved it.
yeah,
That's what makes it such a good scam.
like fuck buying both games. I'll buy both games and then the third game that came out with that generation, like
Yeah, yeah. Then they have a third version a few years later. That's the best version. Oh, I know you already have this game, but this version's even better.
yeah. What was that? Pokemon Yellow was the only
Yeah,
one. Nope.
Pikachu.
That was the first one that allowed you to have a partner to follow you out of the ball.
Yeah, and the only one to give you like all 3 starters. Like you had to get
Yeah.
that. Even if you already had red and blue, this fucking bastards. Good businessman. They make you want to be scammed. It's great.
That was fine with me. I do it for them. Okay. So you have your platformers you were really into. You hate RPG. Well, some RPGs.
Most
RPGs. Okay. Let me recorrect that. 90% of RPGs.
Exactly.
Okay, so we already also got behind your, the history of your name, which is, I like, even if you don't think it's creative, I still think that's really slick, considering that, because you just plopped your name in the middle. Like, who else would have done that?
I'm just lazy. I mean, if I had thought that I was ever going to last this long, I probably would have come up with something better. But that's probably what most people,
yeah,
their Twitch channels. If I knew, I probably would have come up with something more original, more unique, cooler. I don't know.
I mean, it's evolution. We'll eventually get there.
Like Super Dick World. Yeah.
Oh hell no! You want to see the length on that one?
It's the longest game you'll ever play.
God damn. Okay, so here's a good question for you. I think you might like this one. So out of all the content you did on your channel, out of all the videos, all the streams, even past contents, and if I want you to really think about it, are there any regrets that you have as far as like what you could have done differently on your channel or what you can currently do?
Damn. Yeah, I'm nothing but regrets. I
should.
I'm regretting something I did yesterday.
Oh shit. Uh-oh. Chris broke. Chris, you broke. Oh shit. We lost. All right, so give us a moment, ladies and gents, as Chris tries to come back.
I'm here, by the way.
I can hear you, but you froze. Your camera froze.
Oh, is it good now?
Up there, you're good. You're good. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, okay, good. You're good.
I'm
gonna. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Your biggest regrets with your content, and just so you know, I'm gonna add in that 12 hours later screen. So.
Oh, thank you. Good. 12 hours later. Yeah, got to do the French voice too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have tons of regrets. I regret, starting out. I didn't get better equipment. That probably would have gotten me a bit forward faster. I regret not getting a good chair, a comfortable chair after all these years. That should have been a first priority.
Okay.
There's certain users that I wish I'd banned earlier, not, allowed to be in the chats because they made things disruptive, but that's Twitch streamers. We're whores. So, just like, I want to make everybody happy. So, but, you got to think about yourself too.
Okay.
And because if you're not comfortable, you can't stream, and then that's the end of everything. So
that's some solid regrets. I mean, I don't think. I mean, if you ask some of the top streamers, I'm pretty sure they'll, cocky as fuck. Like, I don't have no regrets. I'm sure you do. People have them all the time. Like, it's part of human nature, man.
You're less likely to regret when you're rich. That's what it is. You're too busy spending money to worry about regret. I guess that's it.
Oh,
that's why, because they're the big dudes.
No, we're too frugal for that shit and all that spending nonsense. I'm good.
We're the common man. Hoi polloi.
The hell yeah. All right, so how about this one? If you could change one thing about your content, what would it be?
Damn, I would have started speedrunning that first year. That would have blown up immediately. I was stupid. I could just play games I like and think I'm going to grow. Are you fucking insane? I would have done either retro achievements or speedrunning. I would have given myself the shortcut.
Right when it started popping off. Okay.
Yeah, holy fuck. I could have like 16,000 if I did either one of those.
Oh, shit. That's a hard, that's a very hard thing to get into because, like, I don't think you know him, but my boy Showtime, he actually does speedruns, and his like.
And so do you.
Yeah, I do some. I don't do a lot. Like I'll do Super Mario World. I'll do Resident Evil 2 or 3 or 4, but I mean I don't do like a huge array of like different, games or whatever. And like, I know you have actually dabbled into a lot more speedrunning with all types of games, not just like specific 2 or 3.
The only game I've ever like half-heartedly speedran was Castlevania 1. And it wasn't even like I didn't even do it on stream. This was offline. I just put a timer on my phone. That's how little I care about speedrunning, like doing it myself. I mean, every other person I know on Twitch, that I know actually, like, spoken to or what have you, they speedrun Streets of Rage 2. There's one of the reasons I haven't played that game in like 5 years. I'm so tired of seeing it. Because all these people stream Streets of Rage 2. I'm so tired of seeing that game. And that hurts because it's a game I love and, the oldest game I remember.
Yeah.
There's everyone speedruns because they realize, it's a good way to get you
right up there. Yeah. So here's a good question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So between retro and current gen games, what is the one dream game that you wish you can learn to speedrun?
Oh God, I'll learn this. No dreams involve effort. That's that's a bad dream. I'm doing work in my dream. I don't know. I mean, if I was gonna ever try to seriously do speedrun, it probably would continue to be Castlevania 1. It's short. It's only like 20 minutes. I was checking my place. I think I got like 200th place or something like that if I submitted it. So I don't know. So 200, sky's the limit.
Yeah. So you just want
here.
You want to learn to speedrun that one better to perfect the art of it in order to get the highest the number one spot essentially.
Yeah, if I wanted to. Which again, I just don't care for speedrun. I don't like the idea of repeating the same game over. I love variety. On my channel, on my About Me, you'll see I've streamed like over 200 games, since I started. That's a lot of fucking games. That's because I love variety. I don't like to stick to the same shit for too long. It's boring.
Man, thank you. I've been, the crazy thing is I explain that to people a lot. Like, people who only play one game every single stream, every single day. And it's like...
Yeah, I can't even watch that. I don't know how people do. Like, you get tired of it, watching it, let alone playing it.
Oh my God, dude. I can't. Fucking Kyrox does that shit.
Oh, yeah.
He is Mr. Fortnite. He is King of Fortnite, is the way I like to label him.
See, there are benefits to doing that. There are certainly benefits to doing that. Much more benefits than not doing it.
Yeah, and he's not the only one that has no, you're good.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Hello,
Chris.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you are.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, am I back?
Yeah. You're good.
I don't know why that's happening. My internet probably it's shit. Sorry.
You can hear me though, right?
I can, but it's like let me hold on. It's
is it robotic?
Okay, no, it's back now.
Okay,
sorry.
Okay, no, we're good. All right. Yeah, don't worry. I'm leaving all this unedited, so it's all good. Yeah, but because I was told the same. Like, I don't know if people told you. I was told, you stick to one game. I don't like you. I hate to stick to one game. It does get boring. Eventually, you don't want to play anymore any game because you're just stuck on just doing that. My thing is, when it comes to like content, I would say probably get into something that people are not normally used to watching you play as often. So like some people would like do sports, right? And let's say you watch somebody doing just NFL, but what if they switched it up and they go to like, I don't know, like an adventure game, right? You get a different general reaction. Or like for you, it'd be like the first time seeing you play Chain Together was different because now you have not only just a full team, but now you have a whole different like gaming aspect. Your character shows a lot more when you're playing something that involves teamwork, and your frustration comes out a little more when you're dealing with these people. It's like, okay, this is like, it gets funny when you every now and then you kind of like travel outside of that norm of what you're used to.
Yeah.
Now, would you play something like that again?
Yeah, I mean, every now and then I do something modern or different. I mean, most of the time it's because I'm asked to, but but even then, my decision. I did Only Up for some reason. I couldn't tell you why, but I did do Only Up, and it's one of the few things that I'm proud of. Like, I actually beat that fucking nightmare.
Oh my God!
It took a whole summer to do it. But,
I have a game suggestion for you that you might like. I have it on Steam. It's fun. You ever played Payday?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Okay.
That's how behind the times I am. I don't
know. Okay. So Payday is essentially a game where you play as a robber or a group of robbers if you play with friends. and you're stealing from jewelry stores, painting museums, and mansions. So like your main objective is just to gain the max amount of money with the least amount of attention. Sometimes you get attention and you still have to run through the level, right? There's this game called One Armed Robber, where instead of you as a character being able to use both of your hands to do multiple tasks, your person has both arms but is only limited to one hand, one arm. And you can do this by yourself solo, or you can do it with a team. And the first level I beat by myself. It is difficult because what they don't tell you, or what they do explain, but what they don't explain to you is that, when you shoot down a security guard, there's this machine. It looks like one of those ID scanners, that's posted up against the wall, and if you swipe it, it turns like from a red light to a green light, giving you like clearance. They don't explain to you that these things are placed in specific areas. So you kind of have to like trial and error. You go in, you shoot a guard, you take his phone that has a 10-second countdown. If you don't find this thing on the wall, you alert every cop in the entire neighborhood, and now you are basically running for your life. So if you're down to play that, I say download it. I will join you. It's so fun.
No, thank you. Thank you. I mean, that sounds pretty interesting. A lot of strategy there, it seems like. Yeah.
It's a decent amount of strategy. It's not too much. They do give you tools. They give you like, a drill, I think, to open up like an electrical box to shut off like security systems or alarm systems. They give you a screwdriver, which I hate the screwdriver because that's their way of lock picking, and you have to like shake your mouse, but not too much. Otherwise, it comes out of the socket, and then you can't, unlock the door, and you got to reset and do it again. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a learning curve, but it is very fun. It can get stressful.
Yeah, maybe I'll give that a try. Thank you for the suggestion. That's one of my flaws is that I'm not very good though with I'm more of a controller guy than a keyboard and mouse. I do really bad with keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had to learn for chain together, so it's doable.
I think it might be controller. I think after stream I'll look into it and then I can tell you. Or
Okay.
after stream. What the fuck am I talking about? God.
After stream. That's what it's like on Twitch, y'all. You're never offline. Yeah.
Oh my God, you are not lying. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's see. Here's a question for you. So you said you're technically 5 years active, but you had an
Yeah.
additional 3 years of inactivity. But you had like what, like a month, you would say, doing just a couple videos trying to get it done. How long do you see yourself doing content?
That's a good question, man. I couldn't tell you. I wish, that's probably why most people do this is, they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. This is just doing it to enjoy or for whatever reason. I couldn't tell you, man, until I'll do it as long as I can, as long as I can, unless I find something that I'd rather do more, but I enjoy it. And that's why there's nothing else I've done in my life where I've enjoyed it enough to keep doing it for this long. So that's very telling.
No, there you go. I like that. Like that. Most people I ask that question, they kind of fucking stupid camera. I have to stop doing that shit. It's an AI camera.
I can't focus on the sexy. It's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
how do I film all this sexy?
I'm watching you, and then I see the camera moving with my fat head. I'm like, dude, come on. That's some bullshit. Oh my God. Okay, so let's see. Here's another one for you. I don't know if it happened to you, but we're gonna go right through the steps. I want to hear your, genuine answer. Let's say somebody comes into your stream, introduces themselves, and they talk to you about, hey, I want to start my first journey on doing video or doing streams. What advice can you give this person who wants to start this entire journey from scratch?
Oof. I mean, I'm still learning a lot myself, I'll be honest. Advice. Oh, Jesus. Get yourself a comfortable chair, a good camera, a good mic, ideally a PC. It depends. I mean, I don't think anyone should do this for anything but fun. If something comes out of it, good, but you shouldn't make this like work or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think you should do it for fun firstly, but if you want growth, just the most important thing, be honest with yourself. If I were watching me, just scrolling through channels and I stopped on this channel. Is what I'm doing entertaining enough to keep someone around? Am I? These are the 3 things that are most important to me: chat interaction, what you're playing, and your personality. Those are the 3 most important things. If you don't have either of those, there's nothing's going to happen. You have to have ideally all 3, but at least one of them.
Yeah.
I always try my best to put on something that's entertaining to watch. I try my hardest never to ignore anyone in chat because that's fun. That's the whole point. I like talking to people, and I fail at this a lot, but I try not to be so exhausted, unhappy version of myself going live. Because who wants to see that? No one wants to go watch someone to take on their problems.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. That honestly, I don't know how often that happens to streamers where if they feel that way and then the chat basically becomes Dr. Phil.
Yeah, that's which there are many people who care and will do that anyway, but people aren't looking for that in general.
Yeah.
And it's on the other end, the streamers aren't looking to be a therapist generally.
Yeah. Sometimes depends.
Yeah, it can't be too much because it's that can be draining too. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Oh, that's hella sense. That you're already tired as it is, and you got to deal with being helpful again, and you're already dealing with these people on a day-to-day basis. Like but it's all right though. It be happening.
Like, that's the thing. You can't help someone unless you're in a position to help them. You know what I mean?
You know what? You want $2? Here you go. Get out of my face. All right, so that's solid advice. I like that. I really do. Okay, so Chris, if you can please let the people know what platforms are you on, and typically when do you stream?
I'm on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. I used to have a Twitter, but not really anymore. I stream on Twitch almost daily, if not entirely daily. I try my best to be on every day because I don't really have much else going on anyway, and I enjoy streaming. But every day I'm on Twitch and my YouTube. I post a video like once a week, and I try my hardest not to just like download a stream and then upload. I try to edit things and take things that I think might be entertaining to the average person, not just here's my stream or what have you. Just like I just posted a God of War video that's like the phone call Easter egg that you get in that game. Something that someone, just casual, completely divorced from my stream just might find interesting. And then, if they see what they like from what's in there, from my channel, they may follow or what have you. And same with TikTok. TikTok though is giving me a lot more problems. That platform is TikTok's frustrating. They shadow ban and they mute and they put a lot of restrictions in place that make it frustrating. Yeah. But I post there too, just not as often as YouTube. And then I'm on Twitch every day. So
okay. And then if somebody wanted to be notified of when you go live, like where is the best place for them to go to in order to see that notification come in?
Either on Twitch, the notification icon you can turn on, or if you want to join my Discord, which would be weird to just join into someone's Discord randomly without even, I don't know. But I have a Discord too where I have a bot that lets people know when I'm going live.
All right, cool. That sounds good. Well, Chris, I appreciate you so much for giving us your time so we can get to know you a little bit, know your story, and kind of really get deep into your content. Is there any final words would you like to tell the people here?
Angel, thank you for having me on, bro. This really means a lot to me. I greatly appreciate it. If anyone's listening and watching this, thank you so much for watching. Check out everything Angel's ever done. This dude is amazing. He's funny. He's a genius. He's a great family man. He's got a good heart, and he plays some awesome games. And if you're interested in any retro content, a dude just talking shit every day, a whole bunch of people. Check me out on Twitch. Check out my videos on YouTube and TikTok. They're not just like upload stream. They are crafted, edited videos, so you'll get something different.
I appreciate that, Chris. And we'll see you guys very soon for the next episode. And don't forget, you can find them Twitch, Discord, TikTok, YouTube. I'll post all of the links right there into the description so you guys can find this episode basically on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on my YouTube channel personally. So again, we'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
Later.
The fuck out of our face.